Welcome back to the Big Three pregame show here on MUTV, being simulcast on KCOU. I'm Reid Foster with Jeff Parles and Tyler Griever. On Thursday, Dorial Green-Beckham, along with 4 other freshmen, were suspended for Saturday's game against Vanderbilt after they were arrested on Wednesday night for possession of marijuana. Guys, what is the impact of this? DGB obviously had his first touchdown of the season, 80-yard bomb against Central Florida on Saturday. What impact does this have on Mizzou's offense, if any?
I would say that it doesn't have a big impact at all, personally, because he hasn't been used at all.
Pretty much.
Which is a whole different topic, what the lack of use of DGB has been so far. I think it's ridiculous. You have a guy who's the #1 wide receiver in the nation, and you should be using him. He has 6 catches this year.
I agree.
The one time where you got him the ball in open space, he delivered a touchdown.
Exactly, and I think I don't think this is really more of an impact on what's going to happen to Mizzou. Mizzou's loaded a wide receiver. I mean, they have Marcus Lucas, LaDainian Washington, TJ Moe, even John McGaffey to an extent, and Varrick Waters at tight end. This is more of an impact on the perception of Dorial Green-Beckham in the nation now and in the SEC. You know, it's not fair that he's going to be labeled as kind of like a bad kid because of this charge, but that's what's going to happen. Yeah. I mean, he made a mistake, I understand, but, you know, he's got to realize the figure that he is at Mizzou. And he's such a humble kid that I don't think he really does. I mean, he is the biggest recruit to ever come to this school. Yeah. And with that, you're going to have a lot of luggage with you. So you have a lot to live up to. You cannot make small mistakes like this. You can't, you know, pull a Matty Mock and go drive your scooter wildly like it's Simpsons Road Rage or anything. And this is not to that extent. But it's good that he's suspended for the weekend. Good for Pinkel for making that decision and not letting a high-profile player overstep his boundary.
Well, the one thing on the suspension, though, I believe it's in the handbook, the student-athlete handbook, that if you are caught with illegal drugs, that you are suspended a minimum of 1 game, regardless of the sport. I believe that's the case.
I mean, if it's hurting anybody, it's going to hurt DGB because he's not getting the reps, he's not getting, you know, more practice at running his routes, and that's a big problem.
And you wonder if he might end up having the similar problems to a Percy Harvin, a guy who had some troubles with marijuana, the same plant, when he was at Florida. He missed a few games for that. He actually missed the SEC championship game because of a drug charge. I could see this actually even benefiting Mizzou though, in the long run, because DGB, to this point, the reason why he hasn't been on the field has been him. I mean, Pinkel's not a dumb guy. He hasn't been the best coach in the history of Mizzou for no reason. DGB, I mean, if DGB knew the routes, he knew them effectively, and he did them better than anyone else, he would be on the field. Do you think Pinkel wants to not play him? Pinkel wants to put the best product on the field. I understand that the season's performance kind of would lend people to believe otherwise, but at the end of the day, Pinkel wants to put the best product on the field, and DGB right now isn't part of that. So maybe this arrest and this suspension might get his head in the game a little bit, might put a fire under him, might let a spark to get him to work a little bit harder, to make him realize, hey, you know, you're a superstar, Dorial Green-Beckham, but you're still a player. You still have to work for everything, and if you do something bad, you're going to be punished for it. And I would say better for him to be suspended against Vanderbilt in his freshman year than maybe 2 years down the line when they're playing a huge road game at Florida to decide who wins the SEC East. And then he's suspended for that. I say better to get out of the way now versus later. And if it is used as a learning tool and a teaching process, then it can be good for DGB.
The problem is where, you know, you talk about the routes and everything like that, but when A.J. Green and like Julio Jones came into Alabama and Georgia, I just highly doubt they were the best of route runners or even knew the routes that well. They are physical. These guys are physical specimens at wide receiver. And I mean, college football is the one level, in my opinion, college and high school, where you can get away with being more athletic than the other guy. The NFL is where you really have to be as good of a route runner as you can be. I'm not saying you can run extremely sloppy routes in college and get completely away with it, but if you can still get away with it. I mean, Dorial Green-Beckham is what, 6'5", 6'6", and
6'5".
So yeah, I mean, and how much does he weigh? I can't remember, like
215, I think.
215 and runs a 4.5 40.
6'6", 220, actually, according to the sheet in front of me.
Excuse me then, and he runs a 4.5 40. You can give me whatever route you want, and the best corner in the country is going to have a hard time sticking with him, strictly based off of athleticism.
One thing I will say, actually, also with the Green-Beckham suspension. Look for Varrick Waters actually to be involved this week for the first time this year. Listen, Waters is a monster.
He is.
From the limited action we've seen, he looks like even a slightly bigger version of Michael Agnew. Yeah. And he has good hands. Maybe they'll with DGB being out, they'll have more of Varrick Waters and maybe give James Franklin another target that really a tight end is almost like a pacifier sometimes.
And James Franklin needs a security blanket at this moment in time. So Varrick Waters needs to get more involved.
I said this a few times when we were previewing this season. I was covering spring practice, and I saw Varrick Waters. I saw him run. I was like, who is that guy? A big, fast. I'm like, why is that guy not on the field?
Yeah.
Get him in. He's had a couple of knee injuries, is why why he hasn't been as dominant in the past few seasons. But this is a guy, he is big, fast, physical. I mean, he's as athletic of a player as they have on the team. Plain and simple. DGB is athletic, but this dude is just as fast, just as big, maybe not quite as quick, but he needs to be on the field, get him involved in the system. That, and I want to see, not just Varrick Waters, but I want to see Kendall Lawrence, Marcus Murphy involved, and just all the wide receivers. TJ Moe is a nice slot receiver, but when you have big, tall, fast receivers like LaDainian Washington, Marcus Lucas, Jimmy Hunt, why aren't you getting the ball to them? They're the type of athletes you need to have to win in the SEC. TJ Moe's nice, but he's a complimentary guy. Throw the ball to your fast players, and good things will happen. Plain and simple.
TJ Moe is the prototypical slot receiver. I mean, Wes Welker gets all those catches on the Patriots not because he's the featured deep threat guy. It's because he knows how to work the inside routes. I mean, that's just how it is. And TJ Moe's the exact same type of player. And the reason Wes Welker gets left out of coverages sometimes is because he is in the slot and they have to worry about outside deep threats like Brandon Lloyd and also Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez when they're healthy. That's just, there's specific roles in an offense. And Mizzou sometimes, I think they're struggling with who needs to be in this role. Like, Dorial Green-Beckham should just not be in the slot as much as he is. That's just absolutely preposterous in my book. So that's TJ Moe's spot. That's where he needs to be. Bottom line. End of story.
We're going to take a break. You're watching and listening to the Big Three pregame show here on MUTV, being simulcast on KCOU. When we come back, we're going to give you guys our picks for the big games for this weekend, starting with the Mizzou game. So come back for that.